Good evening, friends near and far. This is Santa Claus bringing you the news on this 15th of July, 2025. My workshop may be quiet this time of year, but the world certainly isn't, and I'm here to share today's stories with a warm heart and hopeful spirit. On this day in history, back in 1849, the first air raid occurred when Austria launched pilotless balloons against Venice. How times have changed. And speaking of change, there's quite a bit happening in our world today. Trade tensions are building between old friends across the Atlantic. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has expressed deep concern over President Trump's threatened tariffs of up to 30% on European goods. The German economy, already facing challenges with exports declining due to competitiveness issues, could be hit to the core by such measures. And yet I'm heartened to hear Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's wise words that we must, at all costs, avoid a trade war between the two sides of the Atlantic. How right she is. After all, my friends, bridges of cooperation always bring more gifts than walls of separation. Meanwhile, across the globe, there's interesting news from the technology sector. Nvidia reports that the US government is now allowing them to sell certain AI chips to China, reversing an earlier ban. This comes as China itself has added new export controls on electric vehicle battery technology, seeking to protect its leading position in this important industry. China's economy grew by 5.2% in the second quarter, despite ongoing challenges, though analysts caution this growth may face headwinds in the months ahead. In the Middle East, my heart grows heavy with the continued struggles. Israel has conducted strikes against Syrian government forces for a second day, saying they aim to protect the Druze minority in the region. This violence highlights the challenges facing Syria's interim president as he tries to establish control. At the same time, in Israel itself, Prime Minister Netanyahu faces mounting political pressure after a religious party quit his ruling coalition over a dispute about military service requirements, leaving him with only a thin majority in parliament. Turning our gaze to the Federal Reserve, Treasury Secretary Bessent suggested that Fed Chair Powell should step down from the central bank's board when his term as chair expires next May. There's a formal process already underway to identify the next nominee, with many good candidates both inside and outside the Fed. And finally, in news that saddens this old fellow's heart, the conflict in Ukraine continues unabated. Sources close to the Kremlin indicate that President Putin intends to keep fighting until the West engages on his terms for peace, despite President Trump's recent threats of tougher sanctions and announcements of additional weapons supplies to Ukraine. In times like these, when tensions rise and conflicts persist, I'm reminded of the importance of goodwill toward all men and women. Whether in trade disputes or military conflicts, the path to true peace lies in understanding, compassion, and a genuine commitment to the well-being of all people, especially the most vulnerable. As we move forward from this mid-July day, may we each do our part to spread a little more kindness and understanding in our world. After all, the spirit of giving and caring for one another isn't just for December. It's needed every day of the year.